It's our first show of 2018, but if you've been with Justice for much of the past or any of the past 6 years, you know there's one topic that really gets my goat. So we begin with the gift that keeps on giving, Hillary Clinton, and the organized criminal enterprise parading as a 501c3 charity known as the Clinton Foundation that is now officially under federal criminal investigation. The largest unprosecuted charity fraud in American history is about to see some comeuppance. Now, the ruthless, profit-driven woman who was all about money and power on her attempted ascension to the presidency as she covered for her sexual predator husband and her sexual predator financial supporters in that den of iniquity known as Hollywood is now about to face a real investigation. Not a matter like Loretta Lynch and Jim Comey like to call the work of the hardworking men and women of the FBI. Not a review, but a hard-charging criminal investigation with a prosecutor bent on truth and justice. Never in the history of this country has a candidate for any major office skirted the law, pushed the legal envelope, or been under criminal investigation as much as Hillary Clinton, nor has anyone lied, contradicted herself, or run as a less honest and trustworthy candidate in American history. Now, Department of Justice sources tell me today that this investigation has actually been ongoing and that Attorney General Jeff Sessions has directed that sufficient resources be given to the case that was left dormant during the Obama administration. Okay, so is this about politics? Ask yourselves. How do two people who start with nothing, who work in government most of their lives without a business, without a product, without a website, amass hundreds of millions of dollars that we know of? What was this Clinton Foundation? What was this Clinton Foundation Global Initiative? And why so many intersections between the State Department and contributions to the foundation? A lot of questions remain unanswered. Now, if you've watched this show, you know how angry I am about the State Department's approval of the sale of 20% of our uranium to a Russian company. Uranium essential to make Molly 99, used for medical nuclear imaging, that we now buy from foreign countries that by American law must be produced in America, but our Department of Energy won't even put money in their budget to allow for the creation of American-made Molly 99 that millions of Americans like me who have cancer or other health issues use to get better. And like pigs at the trough, the Clintons maneuvered $145 million from the Russian company to their so-called foundation. $500,000 speaking fee to Bill, and additionally more than $30 million, which, of course, the Clintons didn't disclose. And for those of you who sit there and say, well, it was the Committee on Foreign Investments in the United States, CFIUS, that approved the sale to the Russian company of our American uranium, I got news for you. The State Department is the big dog in this decision, and 7 of the 9 CFIUS members are connected to the Clinton Foundation. Put those puppies under oath and watch them squirm. And why was a guy named Pinchuk, who builds steel pipes in the Ukraine, doing business with Iran and thus violating U.S. law, not sanctioned by Hillary's State Department? Here's another shock. The Clinton Foundation received millions from Pinchuk with an additional pledge of 20 more million. And why? When 316,000 people die in Haiti, do Bill and Hillary rush there and within hours promote a phone system by a man who becomes the biggest player of mobile phones in Haiti? Because their friend, that man, Dennis O'Brien, then contributes millions to the Clinton Foundation. The Clintons' influence peddling was on a global scale, with Bill as the world's middleman, setting American foreign policy to coincide with the flow of hundreds of millions of dollars to the foundation, as well as cash, directly into Bill's pocket and ultimately to Hillary. I'm not going to go through it all, But according to Charles Ortel, an expert in analyzing forensic records like these, there's been no real audit of this alleged charitable foundation, which spends more money on salaries, expenses, airfare of mostly Clinton comrades and former Clinton campaign workers. There was also no explanation of payments to members of the Clinton Foundation for the services and reimbursement of expenses by donors to the foundation. If you're wondering what that means, think money laundering. Still skeptical? I ask, how many of you have ever seen a hospital wing or a medical center with the name the Clinton Wing or the Hillary Clinton Center for Women's Medical Health? None, because there are none. Their big kahuna is that they're working on a drug to cure AIDS, which they pursued as part of their presidential library. The Clinton Foundation was promoting the use of potentially adulterated HIV and AIDS drugs from 2003 to 2009 when Rod Rosenstein was a U.S. attorney in Maryland. He won a $500 million penalty against the Indian manufacturer of the generic drug, but no finding against the Clintons. Why, when he was the United States attorney, did Rosenstein fail to require the laureate education and Clinton Foundation to explain how the Clinton Global Initiative University was organized? Tax filings for 6 years do not explain what Bill Clinton did for $18 million paid to him as a part-time chancellor while he held roles at the Clinton Foundation. Why? Because it's all the same players who we now know rigged the investigation of Hillary's email case. And for all those naysayers who say this is nothing more than a deflection from the Mueller investigation, I got a tip for you. Keep your mouths shut. This is as dirty as it gets. Mueller was the head of the FBI for all the years that the Clinton Foundation was protected, and Jim Comey was the Deputy Attorney General for all those years. And if we've learned anything in the last 6 months, it's that Jim Comey's rigged the investigation for his friend Hillary and made sure that Bob Mueller would be appointed so that they could cover their own butts while trying to point a finger at the president, who has done nothing but improve our economy, our safety, our security, and our independence. That's my open. Tell me what you think on my Facebook page, Twitter, and Instagram. #Judge Jeanine.